Welcome back to the No Clue Podcast, episode 142. We are back. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Mike.
I'm Tyler. Welcome back. The draft happened. NFL draft. No surprises at number one, but
it was a surprise. A lot of surprises from then on out.
Yeah. Well, what was your biggest surprise?
I would say Mac Jones falling as far as he did.
Yeah, he had a lot of hype.
Yeah, and he had a great year, pretty much as good of a year as any of the other quarterbacks.
Right. Yeah.
So it was interesting kind of how he seemed to be in the top tier of the quarterbacks coming in all the previews and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he slips. And to who of all people?
Of
Bill
course.
Belichick.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because they just did a ton in free agency. So now that the quarterback fell to them, even if he's not the best pick of this draft, they have a solid team to build around him.
Yeah, and they have a lot of the guys back who opted out last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it was like 8 or 9 guys that opted out last year.
And it works well with Cam there because Cam can give them another year or two for him to kind of settle into it. So
yeah,
I can't believe they got that lucky, honestly.
Yeah, and it's also nice having Cam and him because it's two completely different play styles. So I think, knowing Bill Belichick, he may find a way to, he can go into games with different game plans,
Yeah, especially running the ball.
Right.
I think they could kind of use Cam in that like Taysom Hill role every now and then.
Yes.
And I think they could do magic with that.
Yep. Okay. And what's your favorite? Any favorite picks?
I like Kyle Pitts to Atlanta.
Me too. That was my first favorite.
Because it's weird. Everybody's like giving up on Matt Ryan. I don't know if he's bad enough to give up on. Right. Like, so if you were stuck with him for however long, it makes sense to give him a couple more weapons to see if maybe we could get back to his glory days at some point.
Yeah.
What about you, though? Any other big surprises for you?
I thought the Justin Fields trade, I thought that was pretty interesting. Surprises? Nah, not really. I guess I was surprised that Pitts went to Atlanta, but
I didn't think he was going to be that early.
Right. That's it. Because when I say that, I'm not surprised Atlanta got him. I am surprised he went that early, just because people weren't talking about him going that early.
Right.
But I'm not surprised that, I'm surprised that I'm not, because he should have been that early.
It's tough because if he had gotten picked a pick or two later, he would have gotten like a perfect fit.
You don't think he's a perfect fit for Atlanta?
Well, he's a good fit in Atlanta, but like their defense is awful.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really fix that. But the Bengals are a little bit more structured on both sides. And Burrow coming back, like that would have been a great pickup for them.
Yeah.
Same thing with Miami trying to go all in on Tua. This would have been a good pickup, I think.
Yeah.
And again, Miami's like better built all around than, both of the other team.
And that's where they thought he was going to go to Miami. They thought he was going to stay in Florida.
Yeah.
My favorite pick, though, Devontae Smith to Philly. I love it. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I was surprised he was like the third or fourth receiver. Fourth, I think. No, third. He was the third receiver.
Third receiver, yeah.
It's just like Jamar Chase, I understand. Waddle, I didn't think was like a better pick than Smith.
Nah, me either.
So that surprised me.
Yeah, it was surprising. And Chase, LSU. He's going to play with Burrow. That makes
sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone else, I was surprised. Surtain went to Denver. I didn't think he was gonna go. I guess it's not that I didn't think he was gonna go that high. I thought he was gonna go over Horn. That's what it was.
Yeah, I saw he was kind of a surprise pick, Horn.
Yeah.
Interesting. Like Denver's a team that really could use a Mac Jones.
Yeah.
So it's crazy because cornerbacks, like normally defensively, they're pretty strong.
Yeah, I didn't get that either. I'm like, why are they getting another? I thought Fields was going there for sure when the pick came up. I'm like, oh, they got to get Fields.
I'm so happy for Fields.
Yeah, man. I talked about it on here before. I think Chicago needed a Showtime quarterback, and Justin Fields can be that.
Exactly.
He has a lot of Russell Wilson in him to me. I think he could be really, really special there. What do you think about Pittsburgh getting Najee Harris? Good pick.
I mean, yeah, Pittsburgh is weird.
Everybody was talking about them getting a running back. So they got that.
It's interesting. Like, are they going to protect him? Are they going to open up room for him?
Probably
is Ben's arm going to fall off 3 weeks into the season and they can't throw more than 15 yards?
Yeah.
No. You can't run if you're not going to throw the ball deep.
Right.
I don't care how good he is.
Right. Yeah. Let's see what else.
I got nothing on Zach Wilson or Trey Lance. Didn't really see him. So Trey Lance was a surprise that he went that early.
Mm-hmm.
But all these guys are interchangeable at some point.
Yeah. As far as the talent goes,
other than Lawrence, obviously.
Right. I like Lance to San Francisco because I like him. He's really explosive, so I think he could add something to them. But I don't know. I don't know how they're going to use him. Really,
he hasn't played much either.
Right, he hasn't. But the potential, he could be special there too because he would be a big change to their offense. If they commit to him, they're going to have to change their offense a lot. And I think it would be better if they did. Again, only based on his potential.
And I like the coaching in San Francisco. That's a real benefit he has over Zach Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
The situation is much, much more set up for him to succeed.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson and the Jets are set on him, but they're not going to do him a lot of favors. We know that.
Right.
So Zach Wilson has to be better than every other quarterback for the Jets to turn things around.
Yep. All right. You got anything else on it? Any questions? Nothing? Just
no, not really.
All right. Moving on. NBA. Where are we starting? Lakers?
Yeah, we got to talk Lakers first.
They lost 6 of the last 7.
Man.
LeBron was there for how many of them? Just
the
3,
last
right?
2. The last 2 games.
Last two. Okay.
And he's not playing tonight, and they're playing Denver, so that's another loss. Denver, by the way, and we'll talk about them. They're 9-1 without Murray.
Yeah, signed Austin Rivers for the rest of the season, and Rivers really hasn't been doing that much.
No.
He just kind of comes in to add size.
Yeah, but as far as the Lakers go, man, I don't understand. And I talk about this with other teams. With Jimmy Butler is the prime example that comes to mind.
Uh-huh.
You don't get to dictate like how the team needs to have a sense of desperation when you're slacking out there.
Okay.
And at least with Butler, to his credit, and you've said this, like he blends into the game.
Yeah.
Where it's like he's just running like a coach among players out there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like playing, he's competing, he's not like shorting you on effort.
Right.
What the Lakers are just fucking lazy. I've watched 4 of their last loss, one of their 6 losses, 4 of their 6 losses.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Davis has not sprinted back on defense one time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Not one time.
Oh.
They can't feed him in the post. He doesn't get back. He doesn't get a foul call. He doesn't get back. He stumbles over his own feet. He doesn't get back. He missed an offensive rebound. He doesn't get back. Like, how do you do that every night and then come to the post-game interview like we need to have a sense of desperation?
Right. And that's one thing that separates a lot of the great players. And we talk about this a lot, but it's the greatest players ever always talked about what they could do more. Because like really, if Anthony Davis has a sense of desperation, no one else needs one.
Exactly.
It really, no one else really even needs to play if he is desperate. Like it's just that easy. And Drummond is going to give you what he gives you every night. I mean, he's one of the most consistent players in the league, you know, his whole career. So all you have to do is show up, Anthony Davis. Everyone else is falling the line.
They were, if you notice, they were starting to pick it up. Anthony Davis came back in the lineup, and it's been a disaster.
Yes.
Dude, he's been unbelievably selfish. Like, they'll move the ball for a couple plays, and he'll say, no, forget that. I'm going to just feed me in the post. I'm not going to pass out of a double team for no reason, and we're going to turn it over.
Yep.
It makes no sense. And, like, everybody else is falling into that laziness. Like, Kuzma doesn't hustle as much. Yep. Caruso thinks he's out there to, like, be a spot-up shooter now.
Yeah,
like,
he gets
what is
in the
going
corner
on?
When AD has the ball. He's like waiting in the corner, ready shoot position.
Yeah. It's so crazy. And LeBron, and the reason why I watched these last two games is I wanted to see if LeBron could fix it. LeBron doesn't even care to.
No, doesn't look like it.
Not at all. He's doing the same AD thing. He doesn't get a foul. He's not hustling. He guesses wrong on defense. We give up a wide open layup.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating.
And one thing with the good players, and when we talk about people being selfish or unselfish, we're talking relative to what they have, right? So like there's a time where LeBron should be selfish. Like I saw it in the last game, 2 straight possessions, they were starting a break and LeBron gave it to Caruso. Why?
Thank you.
What is Caruso going to do with the ball 3/4
Thank
court?
you.
And that's the time where LeBron needs to be selfish. Just go, take it. Caruso, cut. That's what Caruso does nice, cut and get dunks. But LeBron was playing off the ball a lot the last couple games. Well, I shouldn't say a lot, but more than he should have been. AD, like you said, he was just kind of just clogging up space at times.
Yes, all the time.
And they act like Drummond can't get the ball unless it's off a rebound. AD will get doubled and he won't see Drummond in there. He won't see the opposite wing, and he just takes a tough shot. And they look like they're mad that Drummond doesn't get his 17th rebound off all their bad shots.
Exactly.
Like he's working all night, but you can't make it harder on him.
It's just like, and AD wants to settle for all these shots and hooks. Like, get to the line.
Another thing they do that's kind of weird, and this is what they've done basically since LeBron is there. They'll like showcase a player a couple games, let them go crazy just so like the league can see that they're good, and then they just stop using them.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, we have that tool. Like it's like they just brandish their weapon, but they just put it back. Say, I'm just letting you know that I have a gun, but I'm not going to use it. Like it's all good, but just know I do have Ben McLemore back there. I have Taylor and Horton Tucker back there, but I'm not, they had their 30-point game. And that's it.
It's crazy to me that like Montrezl Harrell is the only one playing with energy out there. Especially these last 2 games.
Yeah.
And like, I understand that's his job, but he can't be carrying that.
Right.
Like Caruso, why are you frustrated over everything? Like okay, you're not making every shot. You don't make every shot ever. Everybody has this weird sense of entitlement to complain. It's so crazy.
Why is he frustrated over everything?
Kuzma's the same way, bro. Kuzma's mad when they don't get stops. Kuzma's mad when he don't get the open shot, or he took an extra dribble and somebody got mad at him.
I'm gonna be honest. Kuzma should not be doing post-game interviews. Like he hasn't earned post-game interviews, in my opinion. And they're talking to him, and he's talking about, yeah, man, it sucks to lose 6 games, but we just gotta work harder and bounce back. Like, dude, look at where you are in the standings. It's a lot more than that. You lose 3 games and you do that. You work harder and bounce back. 6 games? You have to make a serious change. And
I'm gonna catch some of the game tonight just because I want to see if they actually care or not.
Mm-hmm.
But they look perfectly fine settling into the play-in tournament. It's weird that LeBron is so upset by it because everything they did this weekend was to make sure they get in the play-in.
They can lose the play-in.
For sure. For sure. Then Schroeder's about to miss another week. There's no consistency with any of their lineups.
If they play Portland first, if they lose that and they play the Warriors, they're out of here. I think they're out of here.
I think they could beat the Warriors, but I think if they play San Antonio second, they're out.
They can beat the Warriors, but you think Steph was going to go out that last game with a bad game? Last game of the season?
I would say yes, because, I would trust the Lakers defense. But after watching even without Schroeder.
Okay.
But after watching what Kyle Lowry did yesterday, I mean, you letting Lowry get off wide open threes. He was 3 for 3, 4 for 4 at one point.
Yeah.
Maybe we should close out.
Yeah, and I mean, we've been talking about how bad Siakam has been all season, and they let him.
Siakam was looking like MJ hitting Larry Bird with through the legs.
Yeah, he was back to all-star level.
People.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. They're bad, man. They don't look good, and hopefully LeBron can really. If LeBron is still playing hurt, which it
doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm cautious to believe. I don't know, man. I don't know. Because if he's really hurt, bad enough that he can't manage to play 3 straight games, I don't know how he's gonna, just all of a sudden be good next week. Or 2 weeks when the playing games start.
They're getting swept by everybody in the West if LeBron misses 2 games.
Oh yeah.
If LeBron misses 2 of the first 4 games, they're getting swept against every matchup.
Yeah. They can't win 2 games on anybody without LeBron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is you remember Cleveland the year Kyrie left and they got Isaiah Thomas and Dwayne Wade, that whole messy year.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like. And it looked like a disaster going into the playoffs. I remember that year.
Mm-hmm.
And then LeBron just took control of everything.
And just dropped half the team.
Right. And he everybody was very specific in what they did. There was no versatility or different styles of play going on. It was just we're going through LeBron and we'll let Kevin Love get a few touches.
Yeah.
Honestly, they need to limit AD's minutes right now.
Limit his minutes?
Limit his minute. I'm not talking about nothing not 15, 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But shorten his playing stretches by about a minute at every stretch.
Okay.
Because he gets gassed and like nobody cares just because he's a mismatch.
Right.
So I don't understand why they're like stressing him to get back to playing full starter minutes when he doesn't have to.
Right. I got you. All right. Who else you want to talk about? You said you want to talk about somebody.
I will say this isn't a long point, but Luka Doncic just threw the Mavericks playoff chances away.
Why?
15 technicals.
He's getting suspended.
One more and he'll get suspended.
He won't get. He only has what? How many games do they have?
A couple, but if he misses a playoff game, they're losing that series.
Losing the whole series for one game?
Absolutely. Are they beating, if they, let's say he misses game 2 of a Portland series, will they beat Portland in your eyes?
No. Yeah.
Porzingis has not been great.
If he misses a home game, they'll definitely lose to Portland because they're not going to beat Portland in Portland.
I don't know, man. I feel like he's been like excessively arguing with officials a lot of the time.
Yes. He thinks he's a superstar already.
And he's got that Harden thing of like his drives are often dependent on foul calls.
Yeah, they are.
And that hurts in the playoffs.
Yep. Well, we'll see. Hopefully he can keep his composure because I want to see him in the playoffs. But honestly, I don't want to see them get far because I don't think they can win come out the West at all. So it's almost like I don't even want to bother them getting there if I already don't think they can win.
Yeah, but a lot of things would have to fall into place for them.
Yeah.
And I don't see that happening.
Right. There's someone I want to talk about. What's Charlotte's chances in the East? Honestly. Full strength. Can they beat somebody?
They'll definitely win the play-in.
Can they beat somebody in a 7-game series?
I think I'll give you a hot take. They'll take Brooklyn 7.
They'll take Brooklyn to 7 games?
Yeah, they'll probably lose.
Uh-huh.
But they'll definitely take Brooklyn to 7 games.
I kind of hope Miami or Boston gets
Miami's schedule is easy, so they're pretty likely to get in.
Yeah, but they lose some easy games.
They do. You're right. That's a good point.
And the thing is, in the play-in, if they lose the first one and win the next one, they get the 8th seed, right?
Yep.
So then they could play Brooklyn. If Boston passes them and they play the Hornets first, they may lose that.
Dude, Boston, speaking of Boston, they had a disaster Saturday night. They really can't guard anybody.
I know.
A lot of these teams, like, I cannot believe your defense has regressed throughout this entire season, and they get rid of the IQ big.
Yep.
Like, that's so bizarre to me. And Tice is giving Chicago great minutes.
He is. He's on a lot of highlights for Chicago.
It's crazy to me that they weren't guarding Portland at all, and it was working because, Tatum was cooking. They had some of the role players were making shots.
Yeah.
And then at
Fournier
the end,
looked really good that night, though.
Yeah. And he's starting to settle into a playmaker pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like a weird hustle situation where Brown and Tatum bumped into each other.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, man. Like
they both had to leave the game.
I've seen that happen, but it's very rare that happens with 2 players on the same team.
Yeah.
So
that was players at that.
Yeah. And if either of them misses significant time, like possibly the play-in or the rest of the games leading up to the play-in,
yeah,
I don't think we're going to see Boston in the playoffs.
If Boston doesn't make the playoffs, are you on the Brad Stevens has to go train?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't excuse that.
Yeah, that's bad. But I still don't understand why Neesmith is getting 20 minutes.
Kemba's been out.
I know, but was Jabari Parker not there?
Not in the Portland game. I didn't see him.
No, I mean, was he like dressed out? I mean, he doesn't even play Grant Williams anymore.
I don't remember seeing him, either of them.
So, I get it. Neesmith really isn't a point guard. He's a guard, but they have, he started 4 guards. So, I don't know, man.
I like Pritchard, but he can't be out there guarding starters for 25 minutes.
I know.
That's not going to work. Like, you're not getting away with that.
Right.
So.
And then he's still kind of weird with Robert Williams minutes, or at least his touches. It's just I don't know anymore. Like, I don't get why he still experiments with the depth lineup so much. Every game is like a different rotation, completely different.
I don't know why he doesn't just Thibodeau it, just max out everybody's minutes who you trust.
Yeah.
And sneak guys in there just to hustle.
Yeah, because the thing is, if you have one of those guys in with the 4, solid rotation pieces, it's cool. Like, you could have Neesmith in there if Smart, Brown, Fournier, and Thompson are out there. But you can't have Neesmith, Pritchard, and Romeo Langford in there for 10 minutes of the game at the same time.
Yeah, no. You're not getting away. Like, you're right. You're not getting away with those kinds of lineups.
Right. And the thing
especially with how bad the defense has been all around.
And also, you can't go small. You can't go, Brown or Robert Williams as like the 4 and 5, and then Pritchard guarding like Westbrook or somebody that's going to the basket every time, because then they get exposed and they have to collapse and then kick out. And like, I always have this picture, this clip in my mind of Tatum turning around and running out to close out on somebody, them swinging it and him trying to get over there and them swinging it back, and Brown getting there. They lose a step on defense a lot. Like, they let the offense get a step past them, and they have to recover a lot of times on defense.
Yep. And because their bigs don't have IQ, like, you can't catch up.
Exactly. Like,
Tice is a smart player. He'll still make plays in those kinds of instances.
Right.
Tristan Thompson is useless when that happens.
Yep. And Robert Williams is a really good shot blocker, but he's not a switching big.
No.
And Tice was a very good switching big. Not that he was like locking guards up, but he's someone that, okay, we got the switch. I'm cool with Tice being there. If Tice gets exposed, he just gets exposed. He'll hack. That's fine. Or he'll
and they used to let him get exposed.
Yeah, but that's better to me than getting completely blown by. If someone breaks him down and breaks his ankles, that's just what happens.
Right.
So, yeah, man.
Boston looks bad right now, man. And what's crazy is, like, Charlotte is emerging.
Yeah.
New York is emerging.
4th seed, let's get it. Yeah.
Like, Indiana is starting to play much better.
Yeah. Washington is coming.
Washington is fighting to sneak in there.
Washington can beat Charlotte in the playing game.
DC could beat any of the playing teams, and they could also lose to any of them.
They won't lose to the Pacers in the playing game.
Dude, knowing DC, anything is possible. I promise you.
They better keep their spot. Chicago and Toronto, I mean, they could surge, especially when Levine is healthy. I think he's coming back this week, right?
Yeah, Chicago's the big threat. I don't think what we saw from Toronto was definitely a fluke over yesterday.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Let's see what else we got in the league.
Denver, man.
Yeah, picking it up.
Thriving. And the reason I'm confident in it is their all of their adjustments in games have been like what you would expect if Murray was out.
Explain that.
So Murray goes out, Porter Jr. steps up immediately.
Mm-hmm.
More touches, more shots. He's involved in the offense a lot more.
And he's proved that if you give him more touches, he's going to give you more production.
Yes.
He's efficient.
And Jokic, to me, like, especially with this 9-1 run, there's no question he's the MVP.
Okay.
No question. He didn't miss. Has he missed a game?
Not that I know of.
And he creates, like, he's a top tier mismatch that just like allows his team to play well.
Yep.
And the reason I wanted to talk about the Saturday game specifically is now we have a good example. You know, we have a good amount of games having seen the Clippers against the Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
They can't guard Jokic, can't guard Jamal Murray, can't guard Porter Jr.
Right.
And the way they can't guard and the way they like give up trying to guard Jokic allows Denver to thrive all around.
It does, yeah.
I mean, Campazzo is sneaking in minutes and giving them production.
He is.
It's so crazy. He's out there just running around like damn Pablo Prigioni.
He out hustles everybody.
Exactly. And he's like all their role players have stepped up in exactly the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks natural. Everybody feeds off of Jokic. Rivers is going to fit right in because he's just going to play off Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
I really think there's a number of teams who should be very afraid of Denver.
Yeah, I think everyone based off last year, you know, they're ready.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
Clippers being the big one. I really don't think the Clippers could beat them more than once.
As soon as Kawhi comes back, they look trash again immediately.
Paul George looks in playoff mode, taking hella shots, not getting free throws.
Yeah.
But
he
Jokic is
weird
just
opportunity shots instead of, you know, getting a chance to get buckets.
Yeah.
When Kawhi comes.
But it's just crazy because, again, a lot of their offensive problems they overcome them at times.
Yep.
But you just can't guard Jokic.
Right.
You have no individual answer for him. Okay, most teams don't.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even know how to double him.
Nope.
I mean, you doubling him, everybody on the court in a Denver jersey is getting open shots.
And the Clippers of all teams should be able to double someone and not let them get shots. Yeah. With Kawhi's length, with Paul George's length, with Batum's length, you should be all three of those guys can guard two people at once. Lengthwise.
Exactly. And it's just crazy because it's like they haven't learned from the playoffs at all.
But, you know, I see no communication on that team still. None.
It's like they still don't practice.
They might not.
I'm not. Kawhi already setting it up. I've been playing through the injury. Oh, have you now?
You're right. He is setting that up. Have you noticed that Patrick Beverley gets hurt every year at the exact same time?
I didn't know it was the exact same time.
Last year, he missed pretty much the whole bubble, which was this time.
Right. That's right.
And the year before that, he got hurt right before the playoffs. Because remember, that was the year. That was the year Harden and Westbrook were together. The first year.
I think so.
No. I guess it was PG and Russ. Yeah, he missed that year because the Clippers were fighting to see if they were even going to make the playoffs. They barely made it. And he had to come back because he missed the first game against who did they play that first round? Was it the Warriors?
I want to say it was.
Because I think he missed the first game and Steph went crazy. And then they're like, oh, Beverly's back. Lou had to play really hard the first game. Yeah, he misses the same time every single year, dude.
I never noticed because I just don't care about him because he doesn't impact the game that much.
I didn't notice until these last few games. Like, man, when is Beverly coming back? He missed the same time last year.
He's been out for a while.
Yeah, he has. Yeah. And he just be over there chilling every time.
And he's
You
gonna
never see
screw
him
up
in crutches or anything.
No, yeah. He's hyped. He's healthy enough to celebrate like every which way.
Yeah, remember when Dame missed those free throws? He was celebrating that. And like,
yeah.
so
It's just funny because he'll come back, and when you rely on a guy who's that like who gives you that little impact, and you like force him back into your rotation every time he comes back, that throws off your depth.
It does.
Like Kendrick Nunn gets hurt. Miami isn't just like shoving him in the starting lineup as soon as he returns.
Right.
Beverly does not show that he's enough of a player to just like come back off 2 months and start.
I know, especially what Reggie Jackson does for them. I mean,
yes. And now with Rondo there, I really don't want to see Beverly on the court.
Yeah. He's going to be, though. Reggie Jackson's going to be right back in the shadows.
And they're going to get worked by whatever guard they're facing that round.
Yeah. And the thing is, Patrick Beverly is competitive on defense, but he does nothing to pressure the other guard on the other end. And Reggie Jackson, although he's not like a premier point guard, he's competitive. Like Reggie Jackson will play one-on-one with a guard the whole game.
He's a real threat.
He is. If someone comes at him, he'll come right back at you. I mean, he may not give you a bucket, but he's going to keep you on your toes. Beverly just passes it and just starts running, cutting and missing threes. So we'll see what Ty Lue does there. But
I'm very concerned with how they guard star players.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even a secret that they can't guard Jokic. I mean, they can't guard Luka Doncic. We know that. They can't guard Devin Booker. We know that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like half the West right there.
I don't think they can guard Dame and CJ either.
I mean, for all we know, DeRozan's going to expose them in the playoffs.
He probably will.
I mean, I don't know what their seating is going to look like.
He's going to get someone in foul trouble.
Right. Yeah. But like Denver just moved past them in the standings off that Saturday game.
Right.
And if they play the 5th seed, I'm not sure. Is that Dallas or right now?
It's Dallas, yeah. It's Phoenix, Utah, Denver, LA, Dallas, Portland, LA, Memphis.
I'm not sold that they're beating Dallas.
I think Dallas plays better as a team. So I think Dallas definitely has a good shot. Definitely. I mean, we saw what Luka did to Reggie and Beverly last year.
And Paul George and Kawhi, like they take him too late.
Yeah, remember last year Paul George was playing perfect defense. Luka hits one tough shot, and then Paul George abandons the good defense.
Yeah, I have to do like everything in my power to stop him, not just play good D.
Yeah, he did. He forced him left, perfect. Luka did a step back. Paul George was there. It was just in his eye. It was just a tough shot. And then Paul George all of a sudden started shading the other way. And then Luka was getting layups and switches. So
yeah, I'm just, again, you can't guard star players. That's going to open up Trey Burke to get 20 pieces again. Just like last year, like if y'all let Hardaway Jr. get going, which you will give him a chance because you're not going to guard him a lot of the time, I'm sure.
And Luka's going to get kickouts.
Kick all night, and they're sending him home 6 games.
And Porzingis didn't even play last year against
exactly.
them.
And Porzingis is like taking a step back because he can't really carry this second option role.
Right.
Which I think they could handle just fine.
I do too. Yeah. I hope Porzingis gets a chance to be who he can be eventually in his career. But I like how he is on Dallas right now.
And I think they'll feed him a lot more in the playoffs.
Probably. They should.
They won't have a choice, I think, with how defenses will significantly pick up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see. What else were we talking about the other day? Did we talk about Memphis last podcast?
I feel like I mentioned Morant at some point.
Okay.
Maybe not last episode before. I'm not sure.
I actually haven't seen San Antonio play this whole season.
It's been a minute. I watched him, I think, in 2020 last time.
Yeah.
DeRozan, dude. DeRozan, if their seating was better, he'd be an MVP candidate for sure.
Yeah. I do not know why they won't get him some help, some bench help, some big man help.
Their depth is very fake.
It is. Their guard depth is fire, but after that, no forwards, no centers.
Keldon Johnson can't like Keldon Johnson and Rudy Gay aren't carrying your forwards through the playoffs.
Exactly.
They're good, but you need at least one or two guys to help them out.
We at least need one other player that actually plays power forward on the team.
I wonder, because all season they've overcome that.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if in the playoffs they could find a really good balance between their guards. Because I think if there's a scenario where they do that, they could be a serious threat to most of the Western teams.
I think so too. I said on here, I think last year, they have the best guard depth maybe in the league.
Yeah, they're up there for sure.
They just go so deep, and every guard just can get straight buckets. They have like 4 guards capable of getting 30.
Yeah, and they compete on both ends.
Yeah.
Again, it's crazy that DeRozan has come in and had such good chemistry with all those guys.
Yeah. He's a good leader. He didn't get enough credit for his chemistry and his leadership in Toronto, but also right. Popovich obviously has a big part of that. So
yeah.
I don't think I have anything else as far as the league goes.
Yeah, I mean, we got like what 2-3 weeks till the play-in.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man. I can't wait to see. We're definitely deep diving once we know the matchups.
I think I'm gonna go with well, yeah, the matchups might change, but not much. They shouldn't change too much. Really, in the East, it's up to Atlanta, Miami, and Boston to see who drops to the 7th seed. And then it's up to Charlotte, Indiana, Washington to get that 8th seed. So
DC, come on. I need you to sneak in there. Russ has been on fire.
Yes, yeah.
And it freaks me out because they're getting swept off of that Russ fire in the first round. But I'll still be happy for them to get in there.
They're 8-2 in their last 10.
Russ is just flying. From what I've seen, and I haven't watched full games, but he's just like flying full time.
Yeah, he is.
I love that. Well, why? Like you're not a good IQ player. Don't think too much.
Yep.
And when he does that, when he just attacks and Gafford eats off of him, a lot of the wings feed off of him.
Yeah.
They're in good shape.
Gafford is great. He is great, man.
Hell yeah. He's like a perfect, big to play with good guards.
Yeah.
Like he would be fire in San Antonio right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's all they would need.
Exactly.
They just need an athlete that works hard. And
Pirtle works hard, but he's just not an athlete.
Exactly. He works hard, but he has to work harder than Gafford would because of Gafford's
exactly. Exactly.
Rui's stepping into his own, dunking on people.
Yes.
That dunk on AD, I mean, it won't get dunk of the year, but it'll be underrated for dunk of the year. It should be in the running.
I'll give you a really great dunk. Clarkson snuck it in there the other day. Did you see his highlight?
Yeah.
He was playing with it and spun off.
Yeah, he came from the left side and
that was nice.
That was real nice. Yeah. Where's Julius Randle on your MVP ladder?
He's third.
Third.
He's fourth. I'd give Steph third. I suppose.
Okay. Yeah. Jokic, Embiid, Steph, Randall.
Yeah.
That's probably how I would have it too. Yeah, I may give him third over Steph, but only because of the team, only because of the record where they are.
Yeah. Next week we could talk about some of the other teams. Like I want to talk about Utah. It's been a minute since we talked about them.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the other teams that have been a little quiet coming into the playoffs.
Yep. Well, who's getting most improved to you?
Boucher, even though he got hurt, I think he played enough.
Okay. I think
I just can't think of anybody like Randall. I know a lot of people are saying Randall.
Yeah.
But he did this in New Orleans. It was obviously the role was smaller, sixth man, but he was a lot of the skill stuff he's doing, the perimeter stuff. He was doing that in New Orleans.
And he did this last year. So yeah,
I'm not surprised by it. Like this isn't like a most improved, like clear cut, jump to me.
Yeah, me either.
More and just about touches.
It's unfortunate that Detroit's record is trash because Grant is still up there for me. But again, like you said, Randall is getting the praise. Boucher, is on a much better team. But Grant, he's still ended the year averaging 23 points a game. And, what was he last year? Maybe 12? Probably. I don't know.
It's the tough question for me. Who is rookie of the year to you?
Edwards. I'd go Edwards.
You see, I didn't want to take him because like Halliburton's impact was a lot more for Sacramento, but he's just had like a number of explosive games in the second half of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Just really showing his bag as like a top, like an elite wing.
You're saying Edwards?
Yeah. To me, he's stole it very, very suddenly over the last month.
Yeah, I think so. He looks like the best. He's playing like the best rookie, so that's why I would give it to him.
Halliburton, if Sacramento wasn't awful, Halliburton would definitely win it. But they're just I don't know if there's anybody better at finding a way to lose games than Sacramento.
Is Luke Walton still coaching them?
Yes.
Luke got to let it go, man.
Buddy Hield, by the way, I watched them. Where did I watch them? Thursday, Friday. But Buddy Hield has no respect for Luke Walton.
Yeah, he hasn't respected him since he went crazy that game and demanded money.
Yes.
In practice on the court. He didn't go to the office. He didn't call a meeting. He said, I want my money. Who does that? No one has never seen anyone do that.
And he's in such a weird spot in Sacramento. The Lakers, that's the game. The Laker game is what I watched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Friday night. But
yeah,
dude, he comes in as a sixth man. He's a black hole.
Yeah.
He literally takes everything he touches. He was 1 for 11 at one point. He throws up an air ball and Luke Walton calls a timeout because he's like, yo, that was a trash shot. What are you doing? And he's laughing in his face. Literally walking into the huddle laughing that he's 1 for 12.
That's terrible, man.
I was like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's not good. That is not good. All right. I think I'm ready to transition. Yeah. Real quick, Canelo Alvarez fights this week. He fights Billy Joe Saunders. I'm not sure for what belt. Canelo has too many belts for me to remember. You have any thoughts about Mayweather and Logan Paul?
Mayweather needs to just knock him out. No fucking nonsense. No, let's put on a show. Knock him the fuck out.
You know he's gonna put on a show though. He did it with McGregor. He could have knocked McGregor out in the second round.
Well, McGregor is, you know, he's a fighter from another style of fighting. Like, that's different.
Yeah.
This is a fucking internet celebrity coming into the sport as if I could walk into the sport and generate like more attention than the actual athletes of the sport.
Right.
I mean, and the thing is, they're killing boxing right now.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, and the thing is, he's not fighting in boxing. And that's what a lot of people don't know. Like, he's not fighting in the Federation of Boxing. He's just asking guys to fight. He's just paying guys to fight.
And so they're just creating this precedent of like a celebrity versus celebrity fight is more interesting to people and garners more income than an actual professional boxing match.
Yeah, it does for people at his level. Like, what was the guy Jake fought? Ben Askren?
Yeah,
Bob Askren. I mean, he probably has never made that much money as he made that night. No. Never.
But the problem is, if it's Jake Paul fighting other like what are YouTubers or internet people, whatever.
Yeah,
that's fine. That could be its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you're mixing the two now. Like, that's where the disaster is to me.
Are they? Because the only thing
they're trying to.
They are trying to, and the thing is, a lot of people who don't follow Mayweather that much will probably think like he's still considered a fighter, but Mayweather like retired very loudly retired, it wasn't like a question if Mayweather was still gonna fight. Like, he made it pretty clear.
It wasn't like a Pacquiao.
Right. Like, yeah, and Pacquiao like still fights real fights here and there. Mayweather made it clear he was done fighting in WBO, WBC. He vacated his belts. So it's like, this fight means absolutely nothing for his career, his climb. Now, if he fought Pacquiao, it would affect Pacquiao because Pacquiao is actually climbing.
Yeah.
Currently climbing to get titles. But Mayweather's just sitting at home, chilling. So,
but like, they just end this like trend. Like, Jake Paul can't face a real boxer in a year and like look decent.
Right.
That can't happen. That's gonna kill the sport.
It is, and Mayweather doesn't care. Mayweather, I guarantee you, Mayweather's gonna make him look great. At least for the first half of the fight, first 3 rounds.
I mean,
Mayweather's gonna take a couple punches. Oh, he's gonna fall out. Like even the.
I hope not. Don't go 50-0 or 51-0 to like make people question it with this.
Mayweather's gonna look really serious, and he's gonna take random punches that shouldn't land.
No.
And I know people give McGregor credit for, what he did. Looked like he landed some punches on Mayweather. If Mayweather wanted to not let McGregor land a punch, he didn't have to let McGregor land a punch.
And all right, whatever. You shouldn't be letting Logan Paul land punches. I don't care how much money it's bringing in.
I agree with you, but he's going to. The thing is, dude, until either of them fight someone who can't be bought, or until either of them go ahead and jump into the WBO and start actually trying to get belts instead of just Triller belts, I'm not watching it. I'm not watching any of them. I'll watch the YouTube, the recap or whatever.
Yeah, right.
But I'm not paying to see someone fight that has no value on their career. Him beating up KSI and the other guy. I mean, him just fighting them. Actually, KSI beat him. Them just fighting people. Yeah, I'm not.
But that's where it should stay.
I agree.
Like, the fact that it got to this point, like the fact that he took this challenge pisses me off.
But this is the thing. Mayweather is probably got offered equity in Triller. He probably got offered a percentage of every fight they do for the next 5 years. I'm sure he got a large percentage of this. But this is the thing. They take I think I said this last time. They'll take a certain cut and take the fame that comes with the rest of it, because he'll do appearances off this fight for 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years from now, they'll still be asking him something about Mayweather.
Well, for Mayweather, they don't call him Money Man for nothing.
Right. Yeah. So. They probably said, Mayweather, come in. Let's, you'll probably get $8 million off of this. Give me $2 million, and I'm good. Call it a day. Yeah. I'll take whatever else comes after that. So, yeah, man. Mayweather, he's on the verge of sellout. The sellout territory. But
I hope he doesn't, man. I hope he just annihilates him, bro. Like, just, he called me out. It's over.
You won't, man. Him posting on Instagram, this is for bragging rights, instantly tells me what he's gonna be on in the ring.
Like, Askren could have. I can't believe Askren like just got knocked. He could have. Why wouldn't he put on a show? Did you see the clips of Askren like getting just annihilated in UFC and just eating it?
Yeah.
But here, one hit, he's out. Like, we couldn't get a show with this. That's what kills me is like he's trying to make Jake look respectable.
Mm-hmm.
And again, just somebody just needs to shut it down.
But the other thing that's kind of corny. How old are they, Jake and Logan?
They're both in their 20s. Like our age, like mid-20s, maybe late 20s.
There's fighters that start professional boxing at 16. So them fighting Triller tells me that they're not that serious, because if they wanted to go to WBO, it's not hard.
Yeah.
I mean, Canelo was fighting in WBO at 15. So it's like, if they really wanted to fight real boxers, they could fight real boxers. It's not like you don't have to be that experienced of a fighter. And like I said, right. Canelo did it. He had no amateur careers. His first fight ever was at 15 in professional boxing. Yeah, so they don't have to like fight a bunch of people and win fights before they're like qualified to fight real fighters.
Like you said, the route they're taking exposes them for not really taking the sport seriously.
Exactly. And they probably do have a contract with Triller to fight idiots for for however long. So I get that. But eventually, what are we going to call this 10 years from now?
Right.
So, celebrity death match. Just, All right, let's get into the music, man. Good music came out, right?
I'm wrong. No, there was some good music. Let's knock out the good music real quick. Cordae gave us a little sneak preview of the album.
Yep, very good, Pat.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot, man. What were your thoughts?
He's good, man. He's really, really good. And we talk about sports on here all day, so he's a talented young dude. Like he looks like someone who in 3 years would be leading the league in scoring, like talent wise. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's I'll make a basketball comparison. Like not as overall players, but sometimes you watch like Jason Tatum and Devin Booker.
Yeah.
And the way they get buckets is just like just nice to watch.
Yep.
That's how he raps to me.
Yeah.
Like, it's just super like polished. He clearly works on it.
Yeah.
His game gets better every year.
Yep.
And this was a nice preview. Like, I thought the production on all 4 songs was pretty subtle.
Yeah, me too.
And the Young Thug track was like a little more of a hype track, which was cool.
Mm-hmm.
But his rapping carries the tracks.
Yeah. And they let him shine for sure.
Yes. And that's one thing I loved about his album. So like the fact that he's staying true to that and we're going to get more of that on the second album, I'm ready.
I want some bigger features on the second album. I want to hear him. I want to hear him compete against these big guys, these big names. I want to hear him and Kendrick. I want to hear him in
Yeah, I mean his album had good features though, man.
It did. I'm not, I'm not disrespecting Pusha T and
Ty Dolla $ign.
Ty Dolla $ign. Chance was good on there. I'm not disrespecting them, but I want to hear, I want to hear that passing of the torch record. It doesn't have to be that. Like, it doesn't have to really mean that. But I want to hear that moment where he's like, man, he could rap with these guys. Like, I already think he's better than Chance. And I think he's probably
not a hot take at all.
Honestly, I think he might be better than Meek. That might be a hot take.
White? Not to me.
For some people, that's a hot take. I think he's, I think
those people don't listen to the same music I do. I can tell you that.
He's more versatile than Pusha T, but everyone else on there, he's better than them. I want someone that when I look at the track list, I want to say, man, I don't know who shines on this song. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's just I'm careful with my expectations because the first album was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't mind if the second album isn't as good, but I need several tracks where like I see what you're saying.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Where like this guy's capable of taking the torch.
Absolutely.
I think he could do it.
I do too. I'm confident in him. All right. Moneybagg.
I mean, this is like, again, if you know the artist, you know what you're getting here.
Yeah, self-explanatory. The beats are hard. The lyrics are hard.
And he actually made me nervous. I remember after his last album, he was talking about like making an R&B album or something like that. And I was like, I don't know, like if that's the way you want to go.
Right.
And what's interesting on this is a lot of the lyrics are a little more R&B oriented.
Mm-hmm. And the features.
Yeah. And I think he taps into that pretty well throughout the album. And the fact that he manages to put out 22 tracks that don't drag.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them are like maybe 2 minutes, maybe a little over 3 minutes.
Yeah. But a lot of them are less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And the pace of this album is really good.
Yep, it is. It is very solid. I don't have anything else to add.
Yeah.
Good project.
More female. I would like him to work with more female artists.
Me too.
I think he could be on the verge of a classic if he gets like 4 or 5 female features on an album.
Yeah, and lets them like really, sometimes guys like him, they'll have a female on the track and they just do the hook and that's it. Like, sound like they just sent him a 10-second hook and they didn't actually do anything. If he gets some people to have, their own verse, maybe a little bridge worth of stuff.
Yes, facts.
He could do a lot. You ready?
Yeah. So the big hyped anticipated release, Khaled by DJ Khaled has come out.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting this. I'll say right off the bat.
I wasn't either. Yeah. I would have thought we would have gotten another single since Grease before the album.
A lot of his albums surprise me just because I don't I'm not really looking for them.
Right.
He doesn't put out that much. Like the pace with which he drops albums is pretty standard.
Yeah, every other year or so.
Yeah, he'll do like 2 years in a row. He'll drop something and they'll take a year off.
Mm-hmm.
But it's usually a year in between.
But usually in the year he lets a single ride, like Pop Star. Like,
But he somehow manages to make me like almost like I'm hearing too much of him.
Get into it, man. Tell me about it.
This album shocked me. I'm gonna just say it right off the bat. Okay. I liked Father of Assad a lot.
I liked it. Yeah, I didn't like it a lot, but I liked it.
I thought his chemistry with all the artists was like probably some of the best he's ever had at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that because normally that's what I'm missing in his albums.
Yeah,
is like that consistent cohesiveness.
Yeah, that project was the best artists on paper that still sounded good.
Yeah.
Because like there's times where, I think one time he had like Chris, Keisha, Cole, and like a bunch of other people on a record, and I was like, man, there's a lot of great artists on this record, and then it didn't sound good at all.
Forgettable.
Yeah.
But I'll say even I like 2 of his last 3 albums. I like Major Key a lot as well.
I think Major Key's probably his best album.
That's fair.
In my opinion,
the one in between sucked. I think Grateful.
Yeah,
the one with Wild Thoughts, I believe.
Yep, that one's really solid.
That song is solid, but that album I didn't like at all.
I'm the One was on there.
Okay, 2 for what? Like 18. There's a lot of tracks I remember.
I liked a couple of those tracks. I didn't know there's a ton of tracks. I didn't like all the way down to track 21 or 23, whatever.
Yeah. I think that was the biggest issue, is the too long.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this album isn't too long. I'll give it that. But this was I'm trying to think of like how I could frame my first impression. Messy, lazy, kind of random.
Mm-hmm.
Those are 3 good adjectives to start with. What was your first listen? What was the first thought you had when you finished this album for the first time? Because I couldn't really frame my word. I couldn't really frame my thoughts when I heard it the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had a lot of mixed feelings on pretty much every song.
Yeah.
But what did you think?
Not manufactured, but
I like where you're going.
Like kind of like the best way to say fake in like a technical term. Yes. It felt like it was very like he was trying to force me to feel something that I didn't feel. Like this is the first time to me I felt like he was trying to force anthems. Like in the past, he would make anthems, right? All I do is win. I'm on one. No new friends. These were anthems, but they were organic. And this one was just like very cheap, a very cheap version of like, I'm gonna force you to think this is an anthem. And I didn't think any of them were anthems. And then here he comes with these samples, man. All the samples were so garbage. The Heart of the City sample.
Dude, that intro. Let me just deep dive this intro before we get into the rest. So, I'm excited for this album. Didn't know it was coming. First track, Lil Wayne, Jeremiah. I'm on board. I like it.
Yeah.
It comes in, 5 seconds in. I'm like, okay, Heart of the City sample. I didn't need it, but it's an intro. I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
Heart of the City sample. Let's let Jeremiah rap. Let's let Jeremiah rap for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, let's save Wayne for the last 45 seconds of the song.
Yeah. Let's let Jeremiah rap for way too long. Yeah, I got hella rappers on this album, but on the Heart of the City beat, I'll let Jeremiah carry that one.
Right.
Great idea, producer. You rocked it. And then Lil Wayne comes in. I'm like, all right, thank you. Like, this is who I want to hear on this beat. The beat cuts out. What? The beat cuts out. And Lil Wayne, credit to him, great rapper, Hall of Famer. He carries it still.
Yeah, he does. And the beat that he ends up being on is trash.
Yes, I'm waiting for 3 minutes for Lil Wayne to get on this beat.
Yeah.
And I never got that.
Right.
Dude, this intro infuriated me. 5 minutes and 40 seconds of Jeremiah singing like the most basic hook he could come up with.
Yeah.
And the hook of this intro is a perfect representation of every other hook on this album.
Yeah.
Mediocre, forgettable, like you said, basic, like fake.
Forced.
Oh my God. Not a single hook impressed me on here.
Not one.
And there was some good ones. I'm not going to be a total hater. Justin Timberlake had a nice hook. I thought I Can Have It All, the next track, nice hook.
Mm-hmm.
But they weren't standouts.
No.
That was a regular song for Justin Timberlake.
It was, yeah.
I mean,
and it's still not one that would sell to me. But
I don't know. What other frustrations did you have? Because a lot of my frustrations are like individual things.
Mine are too. To me, mostly it was him butchering all the samples. This is one that, like, on paper, it didn't sound good chemistry wise, and it showed on the songs. They weren't good chemistry wise. I really didn't like how anybody's vocals sounded on here. That's including Drake's. Even the Grease, his vocals on Grease make sense now because none of the vocals are good on here. I used to think the Grease vocals were bad or weird.
I hated Grease, and the fact that this album reminded me of that song because I forgot about it.
It fits.
Just another. That's what irritated me even more, that it fits well on this album.
Popstar is clearly the best record on this album by a long shot.
I mean, I like a couple tracks. It just, everybody came in. You know what everybody's performances sound like to me on here?
What?
When you have the group project and you could just do it like in the most basic, simple way, just turn it in and get like a C or B, and everybody's like we're good.
Yeah.
Like this was the bare minimum effort to get that C or B, and Khaled colored it and painted it in every way to make it look like an A.
Yeah.
And it's, to maybe casuals, it's not obvious, but to the two of us, it's obvious.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, how does Cardi B sound like the best rapper on this album? Can you explain that to me? I can name Hall of Famer legends on here.
Yeah, because her song is the only song that sounded like it was for her.
Yes.
That beat is her beat.
And it was thrown in late in the album from the stories about it.
Oh, okay.
Like he literally made the song just so she can hop on the album like last second. Which, smart move. He knows the industry.
Thank goodness.
But my God, the fact that Lil Baby and Lil Durk, because Lil Baby's popular, I'll throw him on every other track.
I hated that record, by the way.
I hated Lil Baby, bored me every track he was on.
The first listen, I couldn't understand what either of them were saying.
And he tells him in the first, every chance I get, he's like, keep going. I'm like, no, Lil Durk, you got to fix this.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
My God, bro. Nas and Jay-Z, can we wake up to put out the verse or no?
That was a snooze fest.
A complete snooze. How do you get Nas and Jay-Z and you don't get them to wake up?
James Fauntleroy has like 3 good songs and he smoked them on that song. Like, when I saw he's by far the best sounding on there.
Yes. And when I saw that he was on there, I'm like James Fauntleroy has so many classics with so many top tier rap artists.
Yeah.
And you sleep, both of them just sleep through it. Nas with the crypto monster or whatever he said was Crypto so King. Corny. Yes. Yeah. I was like, Nas, that's not
cool. Yep.
Jay-Z with the Beyonce shout out threw away the whole verse.
Yeah.
It was awful.
It was bad.
I mean, this is my year. A Boogie, really? I don't hear you for a year, and this is the first hook I get?
That song was trash. Not that any of them sounded bad. The song was just trash. Like, it was just nothing good about it. Big Sean.
Everybody's verse was weak.
Yeah, it was weak. And Rick Ross, I mean,
the
how many
same
songs
shit
does
he
Rick
says
Ross and Big Sean have together?
a lot. But Rick Ross is like repeating the same lines I hear every album from him.
Yeah.
Like, again, there's no effort here. Justin Timberlake is the only one that seems to care about this album.
Yeah.
Justin, like the blessing that he provided with that track, which doesn't fit in this album at all.
Yeah.
But it carries because it's a great song.
Yeah. Yeah.
My God,
it's a good, like, I won't say it's a great song. For me, it's a good song because it sounds like a song that people who like Justin Timberlake would like.
Yeah.
But it's not a good song on this album. Like, I never want to hear one of those songs on Khaled's album. This is like one that, you know, will probably be on like a bank loan commercial or something.
I mean, there was like, it's really the hooks are the main issue I have, because a lot of the other stuff is like there's some good aspects to it.
Bryson Tiller was MVP on this album, as far as I'm concerned.
Body in Motion was a solid hook. I'll give him that.
He's the only one who didn't sound bad. Like, I mean, him and Body in Motion was nice, and his little part in I Can Have It All, they could have left it out, but it still sounded good. And then they wasted that. They wasted both of them, really.
I mean, both of the Her features were wasted. I mean, like, dude, okay,
that first one was just disgusting.
I like Migos as a feature, just hopping on one verse and like really quickly knocking it out.
Yeah.
But dude, Her is a great artist. I don't need your fucking ad libs on her hook.
Why would they touch her vocals? Why?
I don't know. Khaled wants to produce.
Her's vocals are flawless.
Thank you.
What do you need to change? He put auto-tune and reverb and, like I said, put GarageBand plugins on Her's voice. Why? She just won a Grammy. I mean, and Miko sounded cool, but again, man, with the beats, man.
This was a letdown, man. This was a huge, I think on the surface, this isn't a bad album. I think like
it's a bad album.
In a crowd, in like a social setting, these tracks will vibe pretty easily.
No, I don't think so.
I'm trying to give it some, you know,
but the thing is,
fairness, but
the thing is, one thing about him and flipping beats, are you gonna pick Going Crazy over They Know? The original?
No.
Exactly. So
I wouldn't dare.
As soon as I hear it, I'm like, what is this? If I heard this and like if I heard this and I didn't know Khaled did that, I'd be like, yo, what are you doing? Where did you get this from? I would think like it was a bootleg. A lot of these songs sound like bootlegs.
Yeah.
Like a DJ mixed them over a different beat, mixed like a verse that someone already did. Justin Bieber and 21 Savage. Good God.
I like 21's verse.
But them together just sounded terrible.
Again, 21's fucking up the hook with his ad libs. Like this is Justin's game.
Yeah.
He knocks out practically every hook he's on. I don't need to hear you.
All of Khaled's everything he's done for Khaled has been great. Been hits.
Yeah, for sure. So many, dude, they're like a guaranteed hit.
And listen, man, I know Post Malone is supposed to be like a rock star and a rocker and everything. Don't use Layla on a hip hop song ever again. Please. Eric Clapton over hip hop? Why?
They made that so generic.
It was terrible, dude. You know what this sounds like? It sounds like one of the movies, like a Fast and Furious soundtrack. Like they just needed a bunch of fire artists. And this is stuff like if something was happening, like a nice visual was happening, I probably would be able to get with the music. But when I'm sitting in my room listening, sitting in the car, I couldn't stomach it, man. I really couldn't. And the thing is, unfortunately, if like the Justin Timberlake song came out by itself, I probably wouldn't think it's good. But since it's on here, it didn't help me, because after that,
Oh, it
I was
doesn't
like,
save the album at all.
After that, I was like, okay, well, I got Bryson Tiller coming up, her and Meek Mill. That sounds cool. That wasn't good. Meek's verse was whack.
Yeah, Meek. I ain't forget Meek's trash ass Kobe line.
Yeah,
I'm good on him, and him coming back off that to put out this shit. I didn't need this at all.
Yeah,
could have let Bryson go longer.
This is a flop. This album's a flop.
100. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's gonna lose money on that one for sure.
I'm just shocked how basic. Like Body in Motion was like a layup.
Yeah.
Like such a basic layup. Like you got a 40-inch vertical with these artists and you lay it up.
Yeah.
So many of these, the posts, the I Did It, obviously. God, like, why are you sampling everything?
I have no idea. You can afford all these artists, afford someone to make a real beat.
You're a producer. I don't want to hear
you looping the intro of Layla over and over again with Post Malone giving me a hook that doesn't even really sound like him. Could have sound like someone who's pretending to be Post Malone.
Yeah. And then why throw in the last track? Why even have that?
He always has to put Buju Banton on his albums. Leave Buju alone.
It's honestly the placement of that song I hated.
But they're always at the end. Even the last one he had on
this one though, it just made an already stiff and a rhythmless album like that much more rhythmless.
It did. Buju closed the last one, and then who closed the one before that? It was Belly and Movado. Oh yeah, Movado. That song was actually underrated.
I like this last song. It just didn't fit at all.
No, it didn't.
And it could have helped the pacing if it was in the middle to kind of pick up the slack for some of the more generic stuff.
And I wouldn't have minded him having more like lesser known artists like that on this album.
Yeah.
Like the last track. Yeah. I mean, and I also wouldn't mind him not repeating artists on the same album. Like
he didn't used to do that. Like maybe one guy would pop up twice.
But it would be someone like Wayne. It would be someone like big like that. It wouldn't be her or Bryson or
Lil Baby,
right? It wouldn't be someone like that.
You summed it up best, and we'll close it out on this. Pop Star is the best song on here, and if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about this album, then I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, man.
This album made me hate Pop Star more because it was the best song on here.
What do you mean hate it more? You don't like Pop Star already?
No. I mean, not that I don't like it. I just think it's like one of lesser Drake hits.
Oh, yeah. I got
you. And the fact that it's like this album is extending its life. Like I was good on it. I'd heard it enough.
Yeah, I got you. I agree with that for sure.
This album's going to look so weak if Pop Star is what's playing from it.
You know it is. Pop Star and the Cardi B song. Those play.
They'll probably play the Justin track too.
Somebody will. But just I don't know, man. Drake's carried him on the last. Well, I won't say the last one because he wasn't on Father of Assad, right?
Yeah, he didn't carry him on Major Key. He gave him the classic. What was the song
he didn't
called?
Need to. For free.
Yes, for free.
That's the best song on the album still, but he didn't carry it because he had J. Cole on there. The Nas album done.
That was don't play yourself, right? With Fab, Fab and them.
Yeah.
That is what they tried to copy with This Is My Year. And I mean, my God, it's like a toddler versus a grown man rapping.
Yeah. He even snuck Meghan Trainor on this album, and it was better than.
Yes.
Yeah. This Major Key is a classic. Actually, now I think about it, and I look at the track list.
That first 60%, first 60-70% of it is pure fire.
Yeah. I got the keys for free. Nas album done. Holy Key, Jermaine's interlude.
See, like
all right.
Future is a good artist to throw in twice.
Yeah, he is. Because he has versatility. You can put him on a slow record or a fast record.
Yep.
Yeah. And generally Rick is pretty good at twice if you have to, but it's still not like my go-to to put twice. That Tourist, Wayne, and Travis Scott song was underwhelming for me. Kind of disappointing.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was a good filler track.
It was, yeah.
That's what this whole album is filler tracks.
Yep. Yeah, man. Khaled. Khaled. And that's the young son's name is Khaled. Is that right?
No, I think Assad. Isn't Assad?
Assad's the younger one?
Oh, I don't know about his other one. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know either. But all right, man. You got anything else? You didn't watch Without Remorse.
Yeah, I'm getting that for next week though, for sure.
Great. Let's see what else. Falcon and Winter Soldier we talked about.
Did you see Marvel's trailer for like the next phase?
No, but I saw some of the names, the
movie
titles.
names. Yeah, looks cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. See what they do with that.
Black Widow is going to be the key because they need to start it off right.
Yeah,
especially with how hungry people are going to be to like get back in the blockbuster like theater movie feel.
Yep.
Like Fast and Furious is real. Like Fast and Furious is setting up to just make an insane amount of money.
Oh yeah, they're going to.
My God, if they like really open up theaters too by that point,
yeah,
quick billion.
They're gonna take my money. I know that.
Facts.
For sure.
Facts.
What did you just said? Marvel.
Yeah,
the Loki Widow trailer, the Loki show comes out soon.
Definitely gonna be watching that.
Oh, I was gonna say Black Widow is really important too because it's one of the movies that will be passing the torch for whoever kind of maintains that that like role that Black Widow had, I guess.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see what the fate of that is.
As far as passing the torch, they started off right with Anthony Mackie. I'll just say that.
For sure.
So they can keep that going, man.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Stan Lee. Real quick, since we've been talking about that.
Yeah.
I guess that's it, man.
We'll get out of here.
We'll be back next week as usual. Talk about Without Remorse and
I'm ready for these. I'm ready for these NBA playoffs, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Big time.
I can't wait for some of these teams to get exposed.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. All right. And we'll see you guys next time. Subscribe, follow, do all that stuff.